Indexes perform important function in MySQL. They're similar to an index in a book. They speed up record retrieval. Without them, the system would have to do a table scan, starting at the bottom of the table and working its way through until the correct record is found. They can be created on single or multiple columns. When you assign a primary key or foreign key to a column, an index is automatically created on that column. And you want to only create indexes on columns used in a join or search, because the index must be updated on every insert, update, or delete, which slows performance. Let's start with an example. We'll do a select star from the actors table. Now, we can look over here on this right-hand side, and if we scroll to the bottom, we can click on the execution plan. And notice that a full table scan was executed. Obviously, this is similar to paging through every page of a book. A select star means return every single row from the actors table. Therefore, an index, even though there's an index on multiple columns in the actors table, we've requested the system to do a table scan. Pull every record back from the actor table. A more likely scenario is to have a where clause where we're only bringing back selected rows from a table. Let's run this select star from actor where actor ID between 10 and 200. We return our results, and if we go down back to the execution plan, we can see now that an index was used. There's a primary key on the actor ID. The system, when it did the search, it used this index and returned the results based on the where clause. Let's look at how we can add an index in MySQL. If I click on the actor table and then click alter table, I can now down here click on indexes, and you can see that there is a primary. The index name is primary. That's the default for Workbench, and it's of type primary, and the actor ID is the column that the index has been created on. There's also an index on the actor's last name. So you might be asking yourself,
you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
Why wouldn't you just put an index on every single column? And the answer to that is every time you do an insert, update, or delete, the associated indexes must be updated. And so there is a performance cost to adding indexes to columns on tables. Therefore, you only want to add them to columns where you're going to be searching, or you need to enforce uniqueness, or you're going to be joining. To demonstrate the speed performance between having an index on a column and not, we can use an example. We can search on the actor table. First name does not currently have an index on it. I'm going to do a search on actor where first name begins with J, and there are my results. If I go down to the execution plan, we have a full table scan. It returned 201 results, and the cost was 20.35. I believe that's milliseconds. Now we're going to go ahead and create an index on that column. It's fairly easy. I click here, and then I'm going to give it an index name, and I'm going to follow the same convention. IDX for index underscore actor, which is the table name, underscore first underscore name. And it's going to be just an index. You can only have one clustered index per table, and that's already the primary key. You can have multiple unique indexes if you want. By default, the clustered index is always set to the primary key. If no primary key is defined for a table, the system will look for the first unique index it can find, and we'll make that the clustered index. First name isn't unique, so we'll just select index. Then click on first name and click apply. When you click apply, you can see the command that's going to run. We're going to alter the table, and then we're going to add an index, and here's our index name in quotes, and inside of parentheses first name, and it's going to be an ASCII sort. We're going to make that visible. I'll apply that and finish. Now I have three indexes. I have one on the primary key, which is actor ID, the last name, and the first name. Now that we've added the first name index, let's rerun our query, and we can see that the query execution cost has dropped to 11.06 milliseconds, significantly faster than the table scan. In review, indexes perform important function in MySQL. They're similar to an index in a book. They speed up record retrieval. Without them, the system would have to do a table scan, starting at the bottom of the table and working its way through until the correct record is found. They can be created on single or multiple columns. When you assign a primary key or foreign key to a column, an index is automatically created on that column. And you want to only only create indexes on columns used in a join or search because the index must be updated on every insert, update, or delete, which slows performance.